A 20-year-old girl who never had a relationship was left standing on her wedding day. Then the most powerful man in the country decided he wanted her, the 20-year-old girl, for himself. The 20-year-old girl was in a difficult situation. The most powerful man in the country was now taking care of her. The silence is really loud. I mean, nobody ever warns you that silence can be so loud. It is weird, but the silence can be deafening. It can be really loud. The silence is loud. Sofia Alvarez stood in the cathedral and it was really quiet. The silence felt like something was pushing on her chest. It was hard for her to breathe and her heart was beating fast. She was scared that everyone could hear it. A little while ago the church was full of life. There was music playing and people were talking quietly. They were all looking at Sofia Alvarez. They liked what they saw. The people were wearing clothes and they were making soft noises as they moved. Now all of that was gone and it felt like everyone was staring at Sofia Alvarez in a bad way. The church did not feel beautiful anymore. It felt like a place where people could see her embarrassment. Sofia Alvarez felt like she was all alone in the cathedral. Sofia stood frozen halfway down the aisle. She had a bouquet of lilies in her hands and her fingers were clenched tightly around it. The petals of the lilies were shaking and so were her hands. Sofia was 20 years old. She had thought that this day would be the start of a story. She thought that all the hard times she had been through would be worth it. Sofia had believed that love could save her from a life where people did not notice her, where people judged her and where people did not care about her. Sofia had thought that love could make her life better. The white lilies in her hands were supposed to be a symbol of her new life, with the person she loved. Fairy tales can be really beautiful. Fairy tales are not always true. Fairy tales can break into a million pieces in a few seconds. This is what she was learning about fairy tales. Daniel Cruz, the man she was supposed to marry, did not look at her the way he used to. He used to be so warm and loving. Now his face was tense. His jaw was. His eyes were moving all around like he was looking for a way out. He was standing with his body turned away from her like he was trying to get from her. The people who came to see them get married were starting to talk and soon they were all gossiping about what was going on. The wedding of Daniel Cruz and his bride was supposed to be an occasion, but now Daniel Cruz seemed like he did not want to be there with her. Daniel said, "I do not think I can do this," all of a sudden. His voice was really loud. It echoed through the cathedral. It was like a noise, like a gunshot. The words hit Sofia harder than any slap. This really hurt Sofia. The words were very mean to Sofia. Sofia felt bad when she heard the words. The words were like a hurt to Sofia. A big gasp went around the room. Her heart stopped beating for a second. She thought to herself that she must have heard him wrong. Weddings are emotional things. Maybe he was just really nervous, maybe he was trying to be funny and it did not work out. Weddings can be like that. She said, "Daniel," quietly. Her voice was so soft it could hardly be heard from where she was standing to where he was. He did not move closer. The man straightened his suit, he lifted his chin. He said the words that would hurt the woman very badly in front of everyone the woman loved. The man said these words on purpose. The words were about the woman. "I'm not going to marry you. Not ever. I do not want to marry you. Marriage with you is not something I want." The flowers slipped from Sofia's hands and fell to the floor. It was a sound, but it felt really bad. Sofia's eyes got all Let us not pretend that this was ever fair to both of us. You were easy to be with. You were safe. Daniel is not meant to be stuck with someone who has nothing to offer. Daniel needs someone who can give him something. You were just easy and safe for Daniel. Nothing. The word was really loud. It stood out from everything around it. That single word echoed louder than anything that was being said. Sophia did not have much when she was growing up. She did not have a lot of money. No important people. Sophia had a part-time job while she was in school. She helped her mother houses. Sophia learned to be quiet so people would not think she was a problem. Sophia took care of herself. She thought that love should be special. Sophia believed that being loyal was more important than having a lot of money or being famous. Sophia believed that loyalty was more important than status. Now the innocence that was once real is being made fun of in front of the country's most important people. A laugh came from somewhere in the crowd. Then another laugh happened. This laugh was soft and it was cruel. You could not mistake it for anything. The laugh was unmistakable. Sophia felt the tears finally break free. Sophia had been holding them back for long. Now the tears were streaming down her face. The tears from Sophia were falling fast. Sophia was. She could not stop the tears. She took one step back, another, until she felt her father standing behind her. His arm went around her shoulders. She could feel that he was really upset and felt helpless at the same time. Her father was angry. He did not know what to do. She felt safe with her father behind her. "This is the end," he said. His teeth were tightly closed. "We're going to leave." Before the people could take another step, a loud and strong voice stopped everything that was happening. "That will not be necessary." The whole cathedral just went completely silent. Every head turned to the wooden doors at the back of the church. The doors opened slow, like they were saying something important was about to happen. They were opening for someone that everyone already knew. The church was waiting for this person. The massive wooden doors were opening for this person. A man stepped inside the room. The man looked around the man's surroundings. The man saw a lot of things that the man had not seen before. The man was really tall. He had big shoulders. He wore a suit that looked very expensive and fit him perfectly. This suit made him look like someone. When he walked into the room, everything changed. It was like a big storm was coming. Everyone had to pay attention to him. His eyes were very sharp. They seemed to be thinking really hard. He did not look impressed by what was happening in front of him all. The man's eyes were sharp, calculating, and entirely unimpressed by the spectacle unfolding before the man. Rumors are going around fast. People are talking about something in a quiet voice, but the news is spreading like crazy. Whispers are everywhere. That is the man we were talking about. The person I was referring to is him. No way. What is this person doing in this place? He just showed up. I do not know what he wants. What is he doing here? I was not expecting to see him. Sophia did not recognize him at first. She was really caught up in feeling bad about herself. She was very upset. When he started walking down the aisle coming straight towards Sophia, people moved out of his way. They did this without thinking about it because it seemed like a bad idea to stand in his way. Sophia saw that people were giving him a lot of space, and this made her take a look at him, at the man who was walking towards Sophia. Daniel's face turned really pale. The woman in the dress took a step back and she looked really nervous. The woman in the dress seemed to be getting more and more anxious by the second. The man came to a stop in front of Sophia. He took off his jacket without saying anything, put it around her shoulders. This was a thing to do, but it meant a lot to her. She was crying and there were many people staring at her. The jacket helped to block their view and made her feel a little safer. The warmth of the jacket and the fact that he was trying to protect her made her feel very emotional. She felt like she was going to fall down. The jacket was a thing, but it was very kind of him to give it to her. He was trying to take care of her. That meant a lot to her. The people watching her did not matter much anymore because she had his jacket around her. Something unexpected happened. He turned around, faced the altar. Everyone who was there could not believe what they were seeing. He was now standing with his back to the people and his face toward the altar. The man said, "This wedding is finished." He spoke in a voice that was strong and clear. "This wedding is over," he said. Daniel swallowed hard. "Sir, this does not concern." The man cut in, his eyes really cold. "It bothers me now," he said. "You just embarrassed a woman who I am supposed to take care of, a woman under my protection." The words sent a ripple of disbelief through the room. People could not believe what they were hearing. The words were so shocking that everyone just stopped and stared. The room was completely silent except for the sound of people gasping in shock. The words had an impact on everyone in the room. "Protection?" Sophia looked up at him. Her eyes were all wet. She said, "I do not understand," in a quiet voice. He looked into her eyes. For the first time that day she felt something other than pain. The pain had been with her all day. When he met her eyes she felt something else. She felt a little better when he looked at her. The pain was still there. It was not all she felt when he met her eyes. Safety. "My name is Alexander Hale," he said in a voice so that only she could hear him. He wanted to make sure nobody else knew what he was saying. "And you are coming with me," Alexander Hale told her. She stopped breathing for a moment. Her breath caught. It was like her body had frozen. She could not breathe in or out all because her breath caught. Alexander Hale was not just powerful. He was the most powerful man in the country. And in that moment, with the world watching, he claimed her. She was left alone and people thought she was worth nothing. Then she met a man who had everything in the world. This man had much stuff that you could say the world of this man was full of things that belonged to him. She entered the world of this man who owned everything. The gates closed behind Sophia and her friends with a sound that was really final. It made Sophia's chest feel tight. The sound of the gates closing was so final that it made Sophia feel like something was stuck in her chest. The gates were now closed behind Sophia. She was sitting in the back of the car, Alexander Hale's jacket still around her shoulders. The smell of the jacket was nice. It smelled like cedar and leather. This smell made her feel a little better in a moment that felt really strange. The lights of the city were passing by the window fast. She was crying. Not crying really hard like she did before. These were tears that were rolling down her face. Alexander Hale's jacket was comforting her. She was feeling sad. She could not believe what was happening. She was also feeling bad about something and a little relieved at the time. The city lights were blurring together outside the window as she sat there with Alexander Hale's jacket around her. Alexander was sitting across from Sophia. He was sitting up straight. He looked very much in control even when he was not saying anything. He had not asked Sophia any questions yet. He had not told her that she had to explain things to him. This was the time since all the bad things started happening that Sophia did not feel like she was being asked a lot of questions or that people were judging her or that they were staring at her like she was something weird. Alexander was just sitting there. It was nice for Sophia to have some peace for a change. She was just allowed to be and do her own thing. The woman was simply allowed to exist. The man told her to drink something. He gave her a bottle of water. Said it very softly. Her fingers touched his for a short time. This little touch made her feel a kind of warmth inside her chest. It was a feeling, not a scary one. She said yes with her head. Took a tiny drink. Her throat hurt when she swallowed it. The woman said sorry. She whispered this all of a sudden. The words came out before she could stop the words from coming out. Alexander frowned slightly. He said, "For what?" "For ruining your day. For causing a problem." Her voice was shaking. "You did not have to get involved in the situation with me." He said yes, he did that thing. He was really calm when he said it. She looked up. She was really surprised by how sure he sounded when he said that. The way he said it made her feel like he really meant it. She looked up at him. She saw that he was very serious about what he was saying. The certainty in his tone was something that she had not expected from him. He went on to say that people were really going after you in public. If he had said nothing, that would have made him a part of the problem, so he had to speak up. The man said that you were being publicly destroyed and he could not just stay quiet about it. He felt that silence would have made him complicit in what was happening to you. No one had ever talked about her pain like that before. They actually made her feel like her pain was important. Her pain was something that mattered. The car slowed down, turned through really big iron gates. These gates had security people standing there. They were all wearing the same clothes. Sophia looked at this scene with her mouth hanging. She could not believe what she was seeing. The gates opened by themselves. Then Sophia saw a driveway with trees on both sides. This driveway led to an estate. The estate looked like a different world. It did not look like a house at all. It looked like a kingdom. Sophia was still looking at the estate in shock. The car kept moving down the driveway towards the estate. High stone walls, sculpted gardens, lights glowing warmly against massive glass windows. Her breath caught. She asked, "Where are we going to be?" Alexander said, "This is my home, in a way." The word just did not seem good to me. The word felt like it was missing something. The word was not what I needed. The car stopped under a porch and the staff came out right away. They were very quiet and respectful. A woman who looked like she was in her 50s walked up to the car. She looked nice but very professional. The staff and the woman, they were all very efficient. The woman had a face, but she was also very good at her job. The lady said, "Welcome, sir." Then she looked at Sophia. "And welcome, miss," she said to Sophia. Alexander took his jacket off Sophia's shoulders. Then he put a soft shawl on her instead. He said, "This is Elena." Alexander told Sophia that Elena is the person who manages the house. Alexander said that Elena will take care of Sophia. Sophia wanted to speak out and say something. She did not think she belonged in this place. The thing is, Sophia thought this was all a mistake. Sophia wanted to make it clear that she was not supposed to be. The exhaustion got to her before anything else did. It really took a toll on her. The exhaustion was too much for her to handle. Her room was really big and nice and totally peaceful. It had lights. The bed had sheets. The bathroom was huge, even bigger than the apartment where she grew up. Elena spoke softly, telling her where everything was, asking if she wanted food, clean clothes, or just some time to herself. Elena showed her everything in the room, like where the food was. Elena said she could have some clean clothes if she wanted, and Elena also said she could have some privacy if that is what she needed, like some time alone in her room. The door. Sophia was by herself in the middle of the room. The room was really quiet now that the door was closed. Sophia stood there alone. The door was closed and she was the only person in the room. And broke. She slid down the wall. Her knees just gave out. Her body started shaking. She cried. She cried for the girl she used to be, the girl who thought love was real. The woman she is now, the woman who was embarrassed in front of strangers. That's who she cried for. She also cried for the future she thought was gone, the future she wanted, the future she had been looking forward to, the future that's now uncertain, and that is a really sad thing for her, the loss of her future. When sleep finally came to her, it was very deep. She did not have any dreams. Sleep was something that her body really needed. It was good that sleep came to her at last. The sleep that she had was very heavy and dreamless, which is what she needed after a time. This sleep was good for her. She woke up hours later to a knock on the door. The woman slowly got out of bed to see who it was. She had been sleeping for a time and was very tired. The soft knock on the door woke her up. Alexander stood outside the door. He was dressed in clothes now. You could still tell that Alexander was a person who was used to being in charge. The way Alexander carried himself made it clear that Alexander was someone who was confident and powerful. He said, "I hope you got some rest." She nodded. "Thank you for everything." He said, "Come and let us eat." Dinner was quiet. Felt nice. He did not ask a lot of questions. He talked about the city and art and books. Sophia started to talk to him and she even smiled a little bit. She felt okay when he talked about these things. The city and books and art were easy to talk about. Sophia liked that he did not ask her a lot of questions. Alexander said after a while, "The world is really good at making people think that being kind means you are not strong. The world does this, it makes people believe that kindness is the same as being weak, that kindness is not a thing, that the world sees kindness as a bad quality, the world thinks kindness equals weakness." She looked down. "I have learned that. They're wrong." She studied him. "Why did you help me?" He thought for a moment, picking his words very carefully. "Because I know what it is like to be underestimated. Because being cruel to someone should never be ignored. Cruelty should never go unanswered." The next few days were really crazy. Everything felt weird. It is hard to remember what happened. The days just passed by and away. Clothes were in her room. They were simple and elegant. Someone had picked them out carefully. Her phone would not stop buzzing. It had a lot of messages on it. She did not want to read the messages. The videos of the wedding were over the internet now. The headlines about the wedding were really mean. Abandoned virgin at altar. The bride was really embarrassed by her fiancé. The fiancé did something that made the bride feel very bad about herself. This was a thing for the bride to go through, especially since it was her fiancé who did it. The bride and her fiancé were supposed to get married. Now the bride is not sure if she wants to marry her fiancé anymore because of what he did. The fiancé really hurt the bride's feelings. A powerful mystery man steps in. The mystery man is really powerful. He is a mystery man who steps in to help. The powerful mystery man takes action. The woman really wanted to disappear from everything. She wanted to disappear and be alone. The woman wanted to disappear. Alexander would not let her do that. He just would not allow it. Alexander was being very stubborn. Alexander would not change his mind about this. The man spoke in a tone when the woman told him she was scared. He said, "Running gives people control over their lives." Then he added, "When people stand still, they lose that control." She started to see things about him. The staff looked up to him. They did what he said, but they were not scared of him. He listened a lot. Did not talk much. He never yelled at people. He never had to. The world outside my window started to change slowly. It was like nothing was happening at first. Then I saw it. The world outside was really changing. Something bad happened to Daniel's company stock. It went down a lot overnight because some investors took their money out and nobody knows why. A woman who was wearing a dress was seen leaving Daniel's apartment. She was yelling at the reporters who were there. Now the people who were helping Daniel are not helping him anymore. They do not want to be associated with him. Daniel is also not getting invited to things like he used to. The invitations just stopped coming. Daniel's company stock is still really low. The woman in the dress is still a big part of the story about Daniel. Sophia sat there, watched the news without saying a word. The news was on. Sophia just kept watching it in silence. Sophia did not make a sound while she was watching the news. She looked at him, said, "Is this because of you?" Alexander did not deny it. He said that actions have consequences. She did not feel happy when she saw Daniel fall. She just felt a kind of calmness when Daniel fell. This time it was different. She was not the one who had to pay the price. The price was being paid by someone for a change, and that someone else was not her. She was used to being the one who had to deal with the consequences. For the first time she was not the one paying the price. One evening Sophia was standing on the terrace. She could see the whole city from there. She finally said what she really thought, the truth that Sophia had been keeping to herself for long. "I do not know who I am when I am not a burden to someone. Being a burden to someone is a part of my life. Without being a burden to someone I am not really sure who I am. The thought of not being a burden to someone is really scary to me. I think about this a lot. It makes me wonder, what is my purpose if I am not a burden to someone? Being someone's burden is what I know, it is what I am used to, it is what makes me feel like I have a reason to be around." Alexander turned to her. He looked at her with a gaze that did not move. Alexander kept looking at her with eyes that were still. "Then it is time for you to figure out who you are without needing anyone's approval. You need to learn about yourself. What makes you happy, and you should do this without waiting for someone to tell you it is okay. Discovering who you are is a part of life, and it is something you must do on your own without anyone's permission." Something changed inside of the woman when she heard those words. Sophia felt something inside her for the first time since she was at the altar. It was like a flower started to grow in the place where she used to feel really sad and hopeless. This feeling was happening to Sophia for the time since the altar, and it was a big change for her. Sophia was feeling something bloom inside her. This was replacing the despair that Sophia had been living with. Oh, people tried to ruin her reputation. They really did. Then she came back with a power that nobody saw coming. Nobody expected her to be so strong. She returned with a power that surprised everyone. Her power was something that no one expected to see. The time Sophia walked into Alexander Hale's boardroom, everything just stopped. People were. Then they just stopped talking when Sophia came in. It was like Sophia's presence made everyone go quiet. The room fell silent when Sophia entered Alexander Hale's boardroom. The room was really big with glass walls and shiny stone floors. It had a table that could fit a lot of important people. Men and women who were dressed up in suits slowly turned around. They looked surprised. Then they could not believe their eyes. The girl from the cathedral was standing there. This was the girl who was left at the altar. She was the one whose crying face was seen by millions of people on the internet. The room was filled with people staring at the abandoned bride. The girl from the cathedral was not supposed to be. Sophia felt the weight of their stares. It was a feeling she knew well, the way her chest would get tight. This used to be really hard for her to deal with. Once all those people looking at her would have been much. Not now. Now Sophia stood up straight and tall. She was not going to let the stares of people get to her. Sophia straightened her spine. She felt strong. The stares of people were still there, but Sophia was not afraid of them. Alexander walked in behind her. When he did, people looked up to him away. He had a way about him that made people respect him instantly. Alexander was the kind of person who got respect without having to ask for it. He said that this is Sofia Alvarez. He was very calm when he said it. This woman was Sofia Alvarez. Then there was silence. The woman is going to work with the company. She will be working with the people at the company. The woman will be doing her job with us at the company. People started to whisper to each other. A quiet noise spread through the room. Murmurs were going around the room. Sophia caught fragments. She wondered why this was happening to her. She is a girl. This has to be some kind of mistake that is happening to Sophia. Alexander sat at the head of the table. He said, "If anyone doubts my judgment," and then he added in a voice, "You are free to leave. Alexander is serious about this. Alexander wants everyone to know that he means what he says." Nobody moved. After the meeting, Sophia talked to him alone. She said to him, "You did not tell me about this." He said, "You did not need to be warned. You needed a chance to do something." She hesitated. "People do not respect the woman that I'm," she said. "They do not respect me." He said they do not need to. Not yet. The days that came after were really tough for her. She had to deal with a lot of things that made her feel bad about herself. People asked her questions in a way and they did not take her seriously. They would say things that made her feel like she was not good enough. Some people were nice to her face. They did not really care what she had to say. They just pretended to listen. Other people thought she was there because she looked good or because they felt sorry for her. The people around her made her feel like the woman was not important. The woman was treated like this every day. Sophia was really paying attention. She took a look and noticed things. The woman saw what was going on. She observed. The woman recalled something from her past. She remembered it clearly. The memory of it was still fresh in her mind. She remembered. At night, she studied reports Alexander gave her, financial patterns, market behaviors, ethical failures hidden behind profit. She absorbed everything with a hunger born from years of being told she was insignificant. One afternoon when people were talking about an investment that had something to do with Daniel Cruz's old company, Sophia said something. She was talking about the investment that was not doing well, the one that was connected to Daniel Cruz's company. Quietly, clearly. The woman told him that he was looking at the numbers the way. She said that the numbers are not what they seem when you look at them like that. The numbers are actually the way around, she explained. The woman was talking about the numbers. Some of the executives looked at each other, smiled. The executives were clearly entertained by something. They exchanged looks with each other. The executives seemed to be enjoying themselves. Alexander leaned back in his chair. Said, "Go on." She took a breath. "The company is not doing badly just because we are not selling things. The real reason the company is in trouble is that people do not trust it anymore. Changing the way the company looks will not fix this problem. What the company needs is for people to be held responsible for their actions. The company needs accountability to survive." The room became very quiet all of a sudden. She went on to explain her plan, which included being open with the public, getting rid of the leaders and giving money back to the employees. This plan was a risk. It was not what people usually do. But it was the thing to do. It was honest. The plan for transparency and leadership removal and restitution to employees was a pretty bold move. The idea of transparency and leadership removal and restitution to employees was risky, it was unconventional, it was honest. The woman was. Then there was silence all around her. It was really quiet after she finished. The silence filled the space. Alexander smiled. He had a smile on his face when Alexander was happy. Alexander felt good. Alexander was very happy. For the time the people actually listened to what was being said. The people listened. The news got around fast. People started talking about it. Soon everyone knew what was going on. The word spread quickly. This is not about the bride who was left behind. About the young woman who spoke clearly and with kindness. She was the one person Alexander Hale really trusted to stand by his side. Meanwhile, the world outside wasn't as kind. The comment sections were really mean. People she did not know were talking about her, saying bad things. They were questioning her worth, her purity, and her motives. Some people said she was manipulating others. Other people said she was just lucky. Only a few people recognized her strength. The comment sections were saying a lot of things about her, and most of it was not very nice. People were talking about her worth. It was not fair. They were also talking about her purity and her motives. It was all very hurtful. Few people were saying that she was strong, and that is what she really was, strong. The people who were saying mean things about her were strangers and they did not know her all, but they were still talking about her worth and her purity and her motives. The woman did not read any of the book. The book was just sitting there. She did not read any of it. Alexander had said no to this. It was not because he wanted to be in charge of everything, but because he wanted to keep people safe, to protect them, specifically to protect the people from Alexander himself. The man said to the woman, "Your worth is not about what other people think of you. It is about the things you create and the things you build." He wanted her to know that what really matters is what you make and what you do, not what other people say about you. Your value is in the things you build. The woman built something. She actually built it with her hands. The woman built it from the ground up. The woman was very proud of what the woman built. Weeks later, Alexander asked Sophia to go with him to a charity event that a lot of people would be at. This would be her time out in public since everything went wrong at her wedding. Sophia was really close to saying no to Alexander. The woman said that she was not ready. She told this to someone. The woman wanted to be honest, so she said it. The woman did not feel ready. He looked at her in the eye. "You are." She walked in. I saw that she was wearing a really nice dress. It was simple. It looked great on her. There was nothing fancy about it. She just seemed to feel good about herself when she was wearing it. She had a lot of confidence. The dress was elegant. That was it. She did not need anything to make her look good. The confidence she had was what really made her stand out. The cameras flashed. People started to whisper to each other. Soon whispers erupted. The whispers were everywhere. Whispers. It was like a big wave of quiet talking. Whispers erupted around. That is the woman we are talking about, that is her. The girl from the altar. What is this woman doing in this place? The woman is doing something here. I do not know what the woman is doing. The woman is just standing here. What is the woman doing here? Daniel was there too. The man's eyes met the woman's eyes across the room. The woman's eyes met the man's eyes. They just stared at each other. The man's eyes and the woman's eyes were fixed on each other. He looked a lot smaller to me. The suit he was wearing could not hide how desperate he looked. He used to be an arrogant person, but now he just seemed anxious. When Sophia walked past him, she did not even get angry or say anything to him, she just kept walking. Something about the way Sophia ignored him. Foundation. The room was filled with journalists who were sitting in the chairs. There were cameras along the aisles. Important people from the government companies and the media were talking to each other in voices. This time, Sophia was not the spectacle. She was the speaker. When Alexander Hale walked in, the room fell silent. People automatically stood up a little straighter. Alexander Hale still had a way of making everyone quiet down. Today was different. Today Alexander Hale sat down with the rest of the people of standing on the stage like he usually did. This was her moment. As Sophia walked up to the podium, cameras started taking pictures. The flashes were not mean or annoying, they were just taking her picture in a way. Sophia fixed the microphone so it was just right. Her hands were not. Her heart was beating normally. Sophia was feeling okay. She said, "Not ago I was in this building and I thought that how good I was depended on what someone else decided about me." The room became really quiet all of a sudden. The room was silent. I was really embarrassed in front of a lot of people. They judged me away. My whole life was defined by something that happened to me. I had no control over it. I did not get to choose what happened in that moment. Now the moment is what people remember about me. She stopped talking. Let the words sink in. The weight of those words was something she wanted people to think about. She wanted those words to really settle in their minds. I learned something really important after that happened. Her eyes looked at all the people around her. These were faces that used to scare her. Now they were just people. Her eyes saw the crowd. She felt okay about it. The faces were not so scary to her anymore, they were just human like her. When people are doing well and life is easy, that is not when you see what they are really like. It is when they are going through a time that you get to see what their character is really like. Character is revealed not in comfort. In crisis, because that is when people show you what they are made of. People started to agree with each other. You could hear them saying yes in quiet voices. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the space. It was like a noise that spread from one person to another. A lot of people were nodding their heads and saying they agreed. Murmurs of agreement were all around. You see some people. They are really cruel. Then there are others who show a lot of courage. Some people can be very mean. Others are very brave, they show courage. Her voice did not waver. I was called weak. That really hurt me. I do not think being weak is the same as being kind. When you are weak, you do things to people just because you can. You use the power you have to hurt them on purpose. Weakness is when you choose to hurt someone just because you have the power to do it. The applause started quietly, then it got louder and louder. People were really clapping for the applause. The applause just kept going. It was very loud now. Daniel Cruz was sitting still in his seat, surrounded by the rest of the people who were watching. He did not move all. The audience was around him, but Daniel Cruz just sat there. He tried to stay from this situation. He got subpoenas and people started investigating him. This made a lot of pressure on him. His company, the one he owned, was being looked at by the government. Some people who used to work for him were taking him to court. The people who gave him money were gone. The woman who was with him for a while just left him suddenly. She was there. Then she was not just like that. His company was in trouble. Sophia never looked at him. She always made sure to avoid looking at him. Sophia did not want to see his face. Sophia just wanted to be left alone by him. She did not need to. The justice, she went on to say, is not getting back at someone. It is growing as a person. It is becoming so strong and complete that the people who tried to hurt you do not even recognize the you. Justice is really about growth, and growth is what happens when you become a person, and when you are whole, the people who tried to break you will not know what to make of the new you, because you will be so different from the person you used to be. And that is what justice is. It is growth, it is becoming whole, it is moving forward and leaving the past behind, and that is the greatest justice of all. Growth and becoming whole, that is what it means to have justice. The applause was thunderous. After the event was over, a lot of reporters went up to the woman. The reporters surrounded the woman. They all wanted to talk to the woman. "Miss Alvarez," one of them asked, "can you really forgive the man who left you all alone? The man who abandoned you, do you forgive him, Miss Alvarez?" Sophia smiled gently. She said, "Forgiveness is something that happens inside of us. We have to make sure that people are held responsible for what they do. That is necessary for forgiveness to really happen, because forgiveness is a personal thing and accountability is necessary for us, for the people who were hurt, to be able to move on, and forgiveness is what helps us to heal, but accountability is what makes sure that the people who did something wrong learn from their mistakes, and that is why forgiveness and accountability are both important, and that is what Sophia believes. Because Sophia thinks that forgiveness is personal. That evening, people over the country found out about the news. Daniel Cruz got in trouble with the law. He was accused of doing some bad things like fraud, insider trading, and not doing what he was supposed to do with the money he was in charge of. The video of Daniel Cruz getting arrested was on every television channel. You could hear the sound of the handcuffs being put on him. That was it. There were no people talking or trying to make it sound more exciting. It was the quiet sound of the handcuffs closing. Sometimes instant karma does not shout loudly. Instant karma is not always very loud. Instant karma can be quiet at times. The death thing is really scary. It whispers that everything is going to end. The death thing tells us that this is final. We do not know what is going to happen after that. The death thing just whispers finality. Days later, Sophia stood on the terrace of Alexander's estate again. The city was really beautiful under the dark night sky. The city looked amazing with all the lights on. Sophia was standing on the terrace of Alexander's estate moor. The woman wanted to say something to this person. She said, "I never thanked you properly." She felt like she had not said thank you in a way. The woman was talking about the person she was speaking to. She was talking about thanking this person. Alexander shook his head. "You are the one who did all the work. I just opened a door for the work that you did." She turned to him. Said, "Why did they pick me?" He met her gaze honestly. "Because the world doesn't need more powerful men. It needs people who remember what it feels like to be powerless." The woman smiled. Sophia became a voice for the people who had no voice. She did a lot of work with the Hale Foundation. The Hale Foundation was important to Sophia. She was advocating for people to be treated with dignity at work, for leaders to be ethical, and for the people who were vulnerable to be protected. The Hale Foundation and Sophia received invitations. These invitations came from universities, global forums, and humanitarian councils. Sophia and the Hale Foundation were invited to places. The woman never forgot the